Hey guys, welcome back to HyperTora. I've got my Tokyo treat box here for September. It's nice and early this month, which is really nice with these boxes. Feels about the usual weight. Obviously the box is the same size as usual. Box size doesn't change, they've only ever changed it once. And it's obviously one of my favourite boxes. Before I open this up, I just want to let you guys know that there's a new referral system with Tokyo Treat. So you can refer your friends and you can get credit off yours, they get credit as well. My referral link is in the bottom corner of the video there if you want to use it, or if you don't want to type that in, you can go down to the comments below or the description and you can find my referral link there. That will give you $5 off of your premium Tokyo Treat box for your first box, $3 off of your normal box and $1 off of a small box. The code should also work if you want to get Yumi twins or the NoMakeNoLife boxes. I think it gives $5 off of each of those boxes as well for your first month, which is amazing. But other than that, let's open this up and actually see what we've got inside. Now I know I was meant to do last month's DIY candy. It's still on my list of things to do. I'm actually a PhD student. I'm finishing off my PhD at the moment, so I'm struggling to find time to actually sit and do that DIY separately because I have to film that at home with a microwave. But yeah, let's jump into this. The theme for this month is Japanese characters. So you can see different anime characters on there, which is pretty cool. And I shall open this up on the snack menu, which is what I love about Tokyo Treat. Doki Doki Box, you used to put a sheet with the things inside it in the box. They don't anymore, they just do it as a PDF, which is a bit of a shame. Because I think last month's PDF for that wasn't even online, so I couldn't even tell after the fact what was in the box. But as usual, I'm going to start off with a Dagashi bag. So this is random stuff. I think everyone has a possibility of getting different things in this bag. And it's meant to be made up of 5 items. So 4 Dagashi and 1 Umaibo. There. So sometimes these are pretty cool. I believe this is the Umaibo, if I'm pronouncing that right. It's a corn-based snack. It's a bit like a giant What's-It. If you know what What's-Its are, that's how I describe these usually. These are pretty cool. They're little gummies with well, not really gummies, but they're chewy sweets. And you get a toothpick in there to pick them up with as well. It's a bit hard to describe them. They're not hard sweets, but they're not gummies either. They're kind of cross in the middle. And by looking at the packaging of this, it's Japanese champagne soda pop, so it's pretty Ramune flavoured, which is pretty cool. We've got some little kind of like trail mix, Bombay mix style thing in there. I don't know what else to say about that. The only different thing with the mystery Dagashi bag is it doesn't give you information about what's inside it. And then we got another savoury snack here. These I think are little like soy-based kind of biscuity things. Or they're a bit like the Pretzel sticks I think, but lots of small little ones in there. And this looks like a little grape flavoured gummy. And if you watch my videos often, you know that I absolutely love gummies and I love grape flavouring. So things like that I'm going to absolutely love. And that looks like a giant high five with a very long sort of swirl behind it. So that's our Dagashi bag. So I'm going to go on to other things next. So we've got what looks like a set of Disney characters. Oh, it's a torch. So we got a torch in there. I'm assuming this is... Oh, it's a pen as well. So this is in the premium box, Disney flashlight pen. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know if the characters are on there quite to what I'm used to watching. Some of them I actually recognise them. Like I think they've been sort of made into chibi characters almost. So now I'm looking more at it, I can sort of recognise a few of those. It does feel very cheap plasticky. So it would be a perfect thing for a kid. I think for an adult, it's maybe a little bit odd. But everyone's got their own tastes. Up next, we've got some Calbee. These look like crisps. So these are in the small box. It's a snack. Calbee Simon. I cannot pronounce that properly. Sweet potato and cream cheese flavoured. So I think this is a kind of crisp style thing. I may have to open that up to see what it's like. Our DIY candy seems to be on the top this month, so we've got our DIY candy. This usually comes in the premium box. So this is Odongi. I'm really bad with pronunciation of Japanese things. Odongi San DIY kit. So it's a miniature wagashi set. So that'd be pretty funky. It looks like it makes all sorts of different small snacks there, and it looks like it mixes with water as well, so I can make up quite a few different things. It might be a bit like the DIY I had in the Doki Doki Boxy earlier in the month, just because it looks like there's quite a few different packets from the instructions and quite a few different things I can make. So if memory serves me, that takes quite a while to make. So we've also got some grape flavoured candy. It looks a bit like it might be bubble gum, or at least grape flavoured bubble gum. This is from the small box. So this is High Chew Premium. They're chewy candy, so it might actually just be normal candy. They're obviously chewy ones with, I think, with a kind of harder sugar shell on the outside. I love kind of things like that. My favourite stuff. And then we've got some Hello Kitty Immune candies from the premium box. So this is Yumi Hello Kitty Immune. Immune always tends to, a lot of the time it comes in those kind of powdered tablet style things. They're made of sugar, they're pressed together, and these look like they're in the shape of hearts. It also says it's a popular sour plum franchise, which makes me very cautious about eating these, because this, I think, heart-shaped candies, it's fizzy apple soda and refreshing sour plum. The apple soda I'm probably fine with. I've had a bad history with sour plum in the sense that it, for me, is just way too sour. I had them in some boxes with some of my lunches in Japan, and they were just way too pickled or way too sour for me. Up next, this almost looks like its own DIY kit here. So we got some Kinako Moshi Crackers. So that's really interesting because it's crackers, but supposedly Moshi Crackers. And I absolutely love Mochi, so that would be interesting to see what that's like. And that's from the regular box. Up next, we've got some sort of lemon and salt flavoured snack. So Yagabi Yuzu salt. So it's a light summer snack. It's from the regular box. It's a potato snack there, so it might be a bit like crisps from the look of that. Up next, we've got some Pokemon flavoured candies. We've had these before. I think it was a Tokyo treat as well. This might just be a smaller pack. So the idea is that you've got strawberry flavoured, and I think the longer you suck it, or different things you can do with it, end up tasting like different types of watermelon, which was always very intriguing. And I imagine they'll be very similar to these. They're chews, they're not gum, you can eat them, but they're like chewies with a hard sugar shell on the outside. So we got up next Hello Kitty strawberry kind of pretzel sticks there, or Pocky, depending how you call them. I'll say Pocky, even though these aren't official Pocky. And then we've got, I think we've either had this before in, I'm not sure if it was Doki Doki Boxy that sent me this. It may have been, I think it was at Doki Doki Boxy that sent me this last month, for the month before. So it's crunch chocolate. It's basically a white chocolate bar with, it's a bit like having Oreo pieces inside it, which is pretty interesting. It was quite nice. My packet that I got from the Doki Doki Boxy was kind of all beaten up on the inside and cracked a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how that fares. Up next, we've got what looks like some honey flavoured Pret sticks, possibly with the honey on the inside. So obviously the crunchy bar from one of my Punch Man was from the small box. This one here is from the regular box. So it's Tuppo fruit. Oh, I can't pronounce that word, but it's some sort of fruit tart flavouring, and it's obviously a snack stick from that. There, I don't know why it's a fruit tart, unless it's the word that's been put in there is for some sort of honey, because that looks like honey to me. But yeah, on to the next item. This seems to be our prized premium item. They even teased this, I think, on an email this morning, just before I got this box in the post, is Chipstar, which is basically Japan's version of Pringles, but this is wasabi flavored. Now, if you've watched any of my chili-based videos, I'm perfectly fine with chili, but wasabi gets to me. It's a very different kind of heat, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to make of this. And then finally, we have our drink. And it's not the first time we've had it in a pouch. We tend to get cans and bottles a lot. But yeah, we've got a pouch this month, and it looks like they teased this as well. So this is grape flavored, and it should be a jelly drink, so there should be little bits of jelly on the inside as well. And I've had versions of this in cans in Japan before, and it's absolutely amazing. Not just have the grape drink, but to have the bits of jelly on the inside as well. So I'm gonna start off having a look through some of this stuff and trying some of it out, opening the DIY candy up and having a look on the inside. Before I do that, if you do want to get this box, you can still get this box. It's September's box up until the end of August. So if you order before the end of 30th of August Japan time, you'll get this exact box turn up to your door by the end of September. And you can use the code that's down in the description below or down in the comments below, and that will give you a discount off your first box as well. But let's get to opening this up. If you want to play with this. Now, the nice thing about this, in comparison to trying to do the very complicated version of this in the Doki Doki Boxy that I had earlier in the month, is that we have instructions in English in our little booklet, which is one of the things I absolutely love about Tokyo Treat. They didn't used to do this, but since they introduced the booklet, they started doing this, which makes things a lot easier. So, apparently the jelly needs some time to create, so there's going to be some jellies in this. We've got various things. We've got a spatula here as well as a tiny little Ziploc bag. So I'm not entirely sure we've got a Ziploc bag here. And a tray, we've got various different sachets. This one's full of air. So there's all sorts of different candy here in different colours for the different types of candy. So it says the jelly needs time to set, so create that first and let it sit while we're creating the other candies. So pour the content of blue bag into our resealable bag here. So this is the first time I've had a DIY candy that involves some form of resealable bag. So I'm going to pour that into here so I can get it open. Open that up a little bit more, and we'll try and pour this without losing a load of the powder. It always reminds me of icing sugar, the way the texture of this kind of powder. In the tray with the clover mark, add water up to the top 2 times and pour in the resealable bag. So which tray has got the clover in it? It looks like this. So there's a little clover on here, and it's pointing to this. So I need to fill this tray up twice to get approximately 18 mils of water, and then pour that into the bag. So don't want to pour too much in. So it says ×2, so I'm assuming that means I do this twice. Hope that doesn't go everywhere. Alright. Okay, that's in there now. And then we want to shake the resealable bag. It says about 30 times. I can see that's making some sort of jelly. Oh, that's interesting. So once we've done this, we need to snip off the corner. I'm going to have to use a knife because I don't have any scissors on me. But you want to give this a good shake because I can see lots of little bits in there at the moment. So I want to make sure that's mixed in. And then you pour this into any mould you want and let it set. So I'm assuming this will be these moulds here. I don't know if I can do that to all the moulds or if it's anything in particular. I'm assuming this mould here is for making things. It does look like the fish mould in here has been used by this diagram and this booklet several times. I'm not entirely sure if this on the outside. So looking at this, there's they've got the fish mold which they've used the jelly with, and some of the squares. So I think the molds in here are designed to have this put into it, and I think these are meant for the different coloured sachets. I need to give that a little. I think I need to knead this a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a better mix than I'm getting with shaking. And then it says to snip the corner so you can use it to pour into the different molds. I'm going to use my knife very carefully, but you'll be better off using a pair of scissors if you want to do that. And I'm going to try and do what they've done on here, and we're going to pour it into the fish mold. I'm going to pour it into these square molds as well, using the corner of this. So if I open a bit of air up the top, or if I just give this a roll, it should start coming out that gap in the bottom and make it a little bit easier to pour in. That's interesting. So it's already turning into a bit of a jelly-like substance. I'm hoping you guys can see on the camera there. So that's the fish. And then we'll put some of this into some of the square molds as well. So I think the square molds and the fish are about all I'll get out of this. I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to get any more molds. Just about think I'm going to get the 4 molds as well as the fish into this here to set. But it's a very interesting DIY candy. I've never had to do this with a little baggy Ziploc bag to do this, and I kind of want to smooth out the fish because I think it's already starting to set as well, so I need to make sure that gets in there. So that's those in the mold there. I've used the different 4 in the fish. Up next is the brown candy. It's going to be this sachet. So this needs to go into the mold with the heart mark on it, which is in this mold here. And then once that's in there, it's nice that this is marked a lot better than the last DIY I did was. Try and avoid putting too much powder into the other things. And then I need to add water up to the middle line, which is approximately 5 ml. So where's the middle line? So it says there's a middle line. I'm trying to see if I can see a middle line. Oh, there is a kind of small line in there. I was meant to pour up to the middle line with the water first. So that's my mistake. So if you do this yourself, add your water first. Don't do what I just did, which is add water after. You need to put water in up to the line, then add your powder. So I have absolutely no clue if I put too much water in there now, or if I put too little in. But it looks about right. It looks like it's actually, I thought it was going to be chocolate, but to me I think that might be red bean paste actually, which is usually the center of Mochi, just from the texture and the slight smell from that. So that's quite interesting. So this is filling for other candies there, so I can use that, I think, from the packaging here. That's the kind of brown that we see in the fish, as well as the stuff between the different candies here, and use it as a nice paste to put stuff on. So next is the white candy, which I'm assuming is this big clear packet, and this goes into the tray with a star, which is this one here. And now I'm reading this first. It says add water up to the middle line. I don't know why it says middle line. The line is a lot further down from the middle of the tray, so it doesn't take much. That's pretty plenty in there. And then I need to add this in and mix it up. The difficulty with this being that I've got one spatula to mix all of these, which makes it very difficult unless you've got something to clear your spatula off with. So I'm going to try and clear this off on the edge of the box here. It's just so that I can reuse it to give this a stir. And I have a feeling this will be, the white mix will be like the Mochi kind of moulding stuff that we can do. So using our, once this is done, pour in the content, this is white candy, pour in the content of a little black bag, and using your hands to roll, create dango candies with the white candies, and use the brown candy as the filling. Okay, so I'm getting a bit of a filling mixed in with this, which I didn't really want to do. And that's mixing in very well. So I think I just have to make little balls with this, and if I want I can make a few little strawberry shaped things to go on top of the other candies. So let's give this a bit of a roll. That's some really nice little dough. There are a few brown marks in this from the red bean paste, but I'm going to split this up into a couple of different balls at different sizes. It's quite sticky, so be very careful. So I've got various different sizes here. It's quite interesting. And then finally we need to make our pink candy, or not finally, there's still green candy after this. So this goes into the mold with the musical note, which is the last mold in here. So we need to add water up to the line, which is about 5 ml. The line's very low in these trays, so you don't need to pour much in. It almost doesn't look like a line, it's just an indent into the tray. So that's our pink candy. So this will be the strawberries and the flower molds. And it smells like strawberry as well, so that's really nice. So that mixes really quite nicely there. I'm hoping you can see we've got some nice green, strawberry pink goop there. And before that goes too hard, we want to put it into the mold. The flower and strawberry ones are recommended, which are these ones here, leaving the leaf obviously for the green bag. So these are quite nice and easy to do. You just put a little bit in and push it down into the mold to set. I think I'm going to have plenty left over as well if I want to make some more afterwards. And then we want to scrape some of the leftover off, just to make it easier to get these out of the mold later on. There we go, so they're in the mold there now. And then finally I need to do this green bag. So these are the same instructions as the pink candy, but using the green bag. Presumably that means I need to put it into the same tray to measure the water out. So if you're at home doing this, you can probably clean this up a lot better than I can. So I imagine my green candy is going to be mixed with a little bit of pink candy. I've just mixed some of the covering with some water as well, which I didn't really want to do. Okay, so that's in there now. And that starts to turn green as the water mixes in. And it always amazes me how these powders, they've only got a slight tint of colour, but when you add water, they are not grab. That smells like Mochi flavouring. Which is I recognise Mochi very distinctively from my trips to Japan. I did a tea ceremony, which if you ever get a chance to do, I always recommend you're very careful with the tea ceremony, because it's nothing like having green tea. It's very bitter, it's a very pure undiluted form of green tea, of matcha. So it got me a little bit. Normally you have a bit of a sweet to go with this, with the tea ceremony because of the bitterness. But it does take a little bit of getting used to if you're not used to strong green tea. So that's our molds made. So now we assemble these how we like. There's different recommendations here. Some use the leaf round, some of these. So I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to use our spatula to try and put some of our like green paste on top of there, and then I'm going to try and take one of these little strawberries out of the mold and stick that on top like the picture in one of our things. So that's a really nice little DIY candy there. And it tastes like almost tastes a bit like eating very chewy mochi. There, so that's really nice. So this leaf, I don't know how long it needed is that. I think it's just to give it the shape. It's designed to go around there. A bit like if you ever have Sakura Mochi in Japan, Sakura Mochi is usually has a Sakura leaf wrapped around it like this. So that's really nice. And that has a definitive taste of green tea to it. So I'm going to move them to the side now so I can try a few of the other things out and get on with the video. But yeah, that's a really nice DIY candy. We don't often get very detailed ones like that. Normally they're a lot quicker to make. But that was a very long DIY candy with lots of steps into it. But I can switch this back now to look at what's inside. So there are a few things I want to try in here because I've not had them before. One of them being this drink, which is always very amusing. And it smells of grape, so it should have some jelly in it as well. That's very good. It's a jelly drink, definitely. The nice thing about the cap on this is I can finish this later. So actually, from the outside, it didn't feel like it was going to be a jelly drink, but once you start eating that, there's definitely jelly in there. That squeezes out quite nicely. That's a really nice drink. I think they've only really had one drink from the Tokyo Treat box that I haven't liked, which was that soup-flavoured Ramoon drink that came through before, which was weird and odd in a very special way. So I do want to give these wasabi crisps a try, as they are the featured snack for this month. I don't know what my reaction is going to be. Almost smells a bit fishy instead of like wasabi, but so initially it doesn't hit you too much, but then wasabi has a small kick there. I'm not a big fan of wasabi at sushi restaurants because I find it's too strong and pure. This for me is okay actually. It's not too strong. It's got, definitely you can taste the wasabi, but it doesn't sting your mouth as much as eating wasabi with sushi does. Up next, I do want to see what these Moshi Crackers are like. So they're individually packaged. Mochi to me is always something soft and squishy, from almost like a candy. But these are rice crackers coated in roasted soy flour. So that's interesting. It's meant to have sugar and cinnamon, so you can see the inside there. When you see soy, I always think of soy sauce, but it's quite a nice flavouring. It's got sweetness to it. It does melt in your mouth a bit, like the guy here says. So that was actually quite nice. That was tasted a lot different from what I was expecting. I do want to see what these Crystallite sweet potato and cream cheese, because I've never had crisps in a packaging like this. Oh, I can smell the cheese. So these almost look like your traditional homemade almost potatoes that you've dried out. It has a very strong smell of cheese. Actually, I think the crisps are made of sweet potato, which is why it's like that, rather than normal crisps. That's reasonable, it's quite nice. Very crunchy, I think because it's sweet potato. Originally I thought these would be crisps that are sweet potato and cream cheese flavoured. They're actually sweet potato crisps with cream cheese. Different, unusual, but nice. A lot of this stuff we've had similar things from before, so I don't want to open them. I've had this before. I will give the lemon salt chips here. So they're like little fries. They're really cool. So we've got crisps like this in the UK. They're usually in the budget crisp style, but they're very airy compared to this. This is a lot more premium. So these are almost like actual fries. That's a very odd sensation to me though. That's the lemon. I'm not too sure what to make of that. It's not something I'd go and pick up deliberately. No, I've had this. If I was in Japan and I saw it, I probably wouldn't pick it up. It's not something I won't eat, but it's salt and lemon is a very odd combination for a crisp like this. If you get this box, I recommend trying it. It's not going to be disgusting. It's just, yeah, for me, very meh. So I don't know what else to make of that. But the rest of these things here, we've had stuff like this before, so I'm not too worried about trying to open these things up. I will just give the kind of Pocky style things a go. I want to see what they're like. And the nice thing is they've got multiple packets inside here, which keeps them a bit fresher, a bit longer. So it's a cross section of that. There's a kind of, it almost looks like a hard candy or something in the center. It's very soft. It's like having the outside of Pocky on the inside of the pretzel stick. And that does taste fruity as well, so I don't think it's honey. So that's really nice. A lot better than I thought that was going to be. That's very unusual. But yeah, that's it for this box. That's all the stuff I'm going to try out today. So thanks for watching. Please do comment down below and let me know what your favourite item from this box was. If you get the box, let me know what your favourite thing testing out the DIY or trying out the food was. Please do hit the like button if you enjoyed the video as well, and please do hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed and want to see more unboxing videos. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.